Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's Story House Books, and it's Tiana as usual. What is this? Well, today is, well, the video's late. If you're seeing this, it's Sunday. I am behind, you guys. I am so sorry. Had a few things going on, and I wasn't able to get this filmed yesterday and out on a Saturday. However, we're still going to call it Series Saturday because it pertains to our Saturday series, Create a Lapbook with Me 2.0. What is this and what are you looking at? Well, this is the piece that we were going to put inside the inside spine here. This will go right here. Okay? This will close, and you'll notice there's plenty of room here, right, for that piece to sit. It will attach there, opens it all this way up, and then, yes, it will be like this, okay? So if you haven't seen this before, I've showed it a few times, but I haven't showed you how to make it. So this has these little transparent little slides that we're going to make here. And on the front, it has these two magnetic closures, or little flaps here, with pockets here and some stamp work, whatnot going on there, okay? This is what we're going to make today. Yeah, so let me put this to the side and say, this may be long because this is a kind of a complicated little piece to make, especially when we get into this inside portion, okay? There is some stitching on here. While it's not required, okay, it is not required. You do not have to stitch this if you do not want to. But I will show you how to do it with the stitching, okay? And of course, I'll do the stitching off camera. But we're going to do some start to finish, and what are you going to need? First off, you may be wondering, where are these digitals from? These digitals are from the Junk Journal Studio, and you can find her on Etsy, and I'll put the link below. Well, she also has a Ko-fi site, which has a bunch of freebies that go with this set. So the set is called Entomology and Botanicals. Now this, what I just printed off for you today, is just one zip file of 5, and each of the zip files has like 10 pages. It is a huge kit. It's got so much stuff in it, from the bugs to botanicals to labels to slides. It's got backing paper, it's got collage, it's got everything. And if you go to her Ko-fi site and get the freebie that matches, that goes with this, you'll get even more stuff. So I highly suggest you get this. This is my go-to for all things entomology. More than likely, I have a few other kits, but this is my go-to. Again, this is the Entomology and Botanicals from the Junk Journal Studio. Okay? Now, I printed out this first zip file for a specific reason. Now, you notice there are slides on here. Now, I've shown you guys how to hand cut these by hand, right? Well, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you have a printer, you'll want this kit. Why? Because look at this. You have all the slides and sizes you'll ever need. Look at this. Side up. Larger ones. Look at this one twice by accident. Look at this one. You can make tags out of this, right? Look at the beautiful labels that come with it. Here's another type. Make great tag. Specimen tag here with these beautiful labels here as well, what we will be using. Here's another one here. Great way to make our bug tags. Beautiful labels that we will be using. This is one of the freebies. Look at all of these beautiful, beautiful labels. I love them. I use these all the time. I love them. And then she has them in multiple colors as well. This is just one color. She has them in blue, green, and red, I believe, as well. This is a must-have kit, okay? I don't push kits on people very often, but this one, the Entomology and Botanicals by the Junk Journal Studio, is a must-have. You must have this. Like I said, this is only a portion of what you get. I mean, not even 20%. This is less than 20% of what you get. And this right here is 7 pages, okay? Just imagine how large this kit is when you include all the freebies that you get off of her Ko-fi site. The freebies, I think they're like 10 pages. I mean, it's ridiculous what she is so gracious and so just giving to our community. So please go look this up and get. I will put the links in the description below. Okay, now that I've rambled and raved on the Junk Journal Studio, let's get started here. Now this particular piece, I did not come up with this, okay? I saw it on Pinterest. I don't remember where. When I saw this for the first time, I didn't think to write down the link because back then I wasn't filming things. I wasn't, you know, it's just something I created for myself. So I'm not taking credit for this. So if you've seen this before, please, and if you know what the link is, please share it with the group in the comments below. Again, I'm not taking credit for this. I do not know the artist who did this first. I do not remember the link. I did see it on Instagram. I believe it's called the Speciman Flip Out folder or something of that nature. All right, I will try to find it if I have time. But again, I'm going to show you how to make it. There are some differences in mine. I did add the magnets like this, and that's pretty much the only real difference between mine and theirs. I believe I haven't watched that video in like a year. So, anywho, let's go ahead and get started. So, what are you going to need? Well, you will need for the folder itself. I'm using this paper that I got from Joann's. It is an off-white 65-pound cardstock, easy for folding, right? You will need some slides right here. Now, like I said, I showed you this so you could print off your own slides. If you find hand cutting them cumbersome, get this kit, and you'll never have to hand cut them. Well, you still have to cut them out, but you won't have to, you know, draw it out and punch it and all that kind of stuff. This is a little easier than making them by hand, okay? And then you'll always have them, and you'll have them in different sizes, right? I use my die cut, I'm using my die cuts here, and this is the one that I'm going to use. Looks like this, okay? That's this one here. And then this one I got off Temu. Again, I will try to find it. I've also had this one for quite some time. I will try to find the link for it if you want this particular die, okay? So you'll need some slides, right? You're also going to need some acetate for this. Now, if you don't have acetate, that's fine. Print it on regular paper and put it in, okay? No big deal. Even for this part here, if you don't have the acetate, just make regular specimen slides, okay? And slide them in, right? It's totally fine. Or you can use packaging. If you've got Tim Holtz paper, I know you've got packaging. Same flipping stuff, okay? Anything like that. Anything from packaging, clear packaging, you can use. If you have acetate, even better. I would suggest using acetate because it is a little bit thicker, because this is also going to be sewn. This part does require some stitching. You can glue it. However, you will see the glue, even if it dries clear, it can get a little messy. So I will say that this part would require, I hate to say requires, because I try to find different ways for you guys to do this. If you don't want to use acetate, just use plain paper, okay? And make these, all right? If you don't have acetate, just use plain cardstock and do this, all right? With the plain cardstock, you won't have to do two pieces, because there's actually something inside of these two pieces of acetate here. The label and the bug, which I fussy cut double-sided here for this, is actually inside of these two pieces of acetate that are sewn together. So if you're going to use regular cardstock, just print it or cut it out and, you know, glue it on top of your cardstock, slide, cut this out, do the same thing, stitch it around, but you don't have to use two pieces, obviously, right? And then put your tab on it. You will need some tabs as well, you know, punch those out with your punch tabs if you have those. If not, we'll hand cut those as well. You'll see I've been doing a lot of stamp work, so I use mostly Field Notes and Eccentric for this. I did use, I believe, a few of Tracy Fox's entomologies. Yeah, I did. This particular one right here is this Tracy Fox one. So it's this one from her entomology passport set. Okay, but I did use mostly Field Notes and Tim Holtz Eccentric for this. The labels all came from the Junk Journal Studio itself. These bugs also all came from the Junk Journal Studio entomology pack. There are some Tim Holtz snippets on here as well. And then I guess that's pretty much it for that. Since this is a garden journal, I did my fussy cutting with, I did a lot of fussy cutting this morning. Now, these are also come from her entomology botanical set. These are all the botanicals that I fussy cut out, because I didn't decide which ones. I couldn't decide which size or which ones I was going to use. I just cut a bunch of them out. So you will need those. I did for the front two flip outs here. These are bugs, obviously. We're going to be doing it botanical style. So I printed out some of her botanicals on acetate. Again, you don't have to use acetate. You can do it on plain cardstock and slip it into the slide. Okay. If you are going to be getting hand cutting your slides or die cutting, you will need your Kraft paper, which I have here. You'll also need your Kraft paper to make these pockets here. These are punched out with a 2-inch paper punch. If you don't have one, make a template from a small cup, a small jar, make a circle, make a template, cut it out. Okay? Or it doesn't have to be circles. If you want to cut it in a square because it's easier, cut it out as a square. It's totally fine. Make this work for you. What I'm showing you is the way I do it. There is always an alternative to what I'm showing you, and I try to show you those alternatives or suggest them to you as we are making them. Okay? If you have any questions or are having any issues with what I'm showing you today, or you need another alternative, let me know, and I will try to work with you and help you come up with an alternative method for what I'm showing you today. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and get started here. All right, first step, we're going to cut the folder piece out. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way. I am running out of room over here, so excuse me. I'm going to have to put this up here on the shelf. Hopefully it doesn't fall down and all my fussy cutting goes everywhere. All right, so put the slides away. All right, so what are we making first? We're going to be making the folder part first, yeah? So what we're going to do is, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of 65-pound cardstock. You can use a little heavier. I wouldn't go any higher than an 85 pound, because then when you fold it, you run the risk of it tearing right there at where you cut it, where you fold it in half. Okay, so we're going to cut this at 6.5 by 6.5. Yes. Oops, excuse me. So let's start with that. I may not be able to get my entire paper cutter in frame, so just imagine 6.5 by 6.5. Yes. Okay. All right. Now you should have a square. All right. Oh, excuse me. Shoulders have been giving me trouble lately, so moving things around is getting difficult for me. I have to stretch quite vigorously every day to get my shoulders to start working. Be that as it may. Okay, so what are we going to do next? We're going to fold this in half. Now you can score it if you want to, which, why don't I have my score board up? And as per usual, somebody forgot something. Okay, and I got my scoreboard. Let me zoom out a little bit. I think I'm a little too close. Here we go. That's a little better, I think. Don't you think? All right, so we're going to basically score this in half, or you can fold it in half, whichever, right? So at 6.5, so that would be 3 1/4, right? There we go. All right, so we're just going to fold that in half. Okay, and there is basically our folder. Yes? Okay. Now, I'm going to put that to the side for just a second. This is where you're going to want to go ahead and do your stitching. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to stitch all the way around, but I'm going to do it in 2 separate sections. So if you'll notice here, the stitching goes around each one of the rectangles. So I'm going to stitch not just like this. Okay, I'm going to stitch here, down, and around and up. So I'm going to stitch each panel separately. Okay, I'm going to do that, and we're going to come right back. Okay, now I've gone ahead and did my stitching. Okay, and see I did around both panels, right? And this one I went ahead and rounded my corners. You do not have to, up to you. I'm going to go ahead and ink mine now. I'm using Distressed Ink, not the oxide, Distressed Ink and Scorched Timber. You know, that's my go-to normally, yeah? Now You can also use coffee dyed cardstock if you want. Any kind of cardstock, any color. If you wanted to use Kraft Paper, that works. I mean, anything. It's just, you don't have to use this off-white color if you do not want to. Right? Up to you. Now, I am inking the inside and the outside of the seam because I want it to be pretty grungy looking, right? Then I'm going to flip it open and then also make sure I get the inside edges as well. And we will be doing some stamping on this to make it even more grungier. Some texture probably. You know my grid stamp that I love, I'll probably use that. Some speckling, of course. What is going to happen. Now, I'm going to hit these corners really well because I want them to look even more distressed, yeah? And then I'm going to take my blending tool and just kind of blend some of that out, right? Just soften it just a little bit. A lot of this is going to get covered up. It doesn't, I mean, why are you doing it if it's getting covered up? Well, just because you can probably see a little bit of it, right? Let's do these corners as well. I want to do these corners. I love distressing the corners, making them a little darker. It kind of highlights what's in the center, which is where most of your focal stuff is. If you're just looking at that, you can see it's bringing your eyes to the middle, yeah? Okay. It almost kind of frames your space a little bit. Okay, and I think I'm going to do this even more. Take my brush and just rub it around. Let's make it even more distressed and dirty, yeah? And this is just random. I'm not doing any pattern. I'm just rubbing it around. Give it some dirty look to it, like it's been handled a lot. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about the back part as much as I am the rest of it, because that's going to be actually glued down. So, at least there's one side you don't have to worry about, right? Okay. Now, next step, we're going to put this aside for now, okay? Which side is the front? Which one is the front? This one. Okay. Put that aside. We're going to cut out the next pieces here. We're going to cut out these pockets, yeah? So grab some craft paper, or whatever paper you're using, whatever cardstock you're using, and you're going to cut 4 3x3 squares, yeah? Oops, there goes the scoreboard. Okay. Now, let's do this 3. If you're using 12 by 12 by like me, you should get 4 3x3s from one strip. Yeah, leaving you with plenty of paper to work with later if you need it. All right, now with these, okay. Now we're going to go ahead and punch. We're going to go ahead and do some stamping on these. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. So like I said, I used pretty much Eccentric and Field Notes for this, which we're going to do the same thing. Yeah? So, before we punch the holes in it, we're going to go ahead and do that. Let me grab a piece of paper to stamp on. Where are all my scrap pieces of paper? Here we go. And guess who forgot her ink? I did not. There it is. Yay. we're going to use Archival Ink Jet Black. Yeah. And let's see, let's get started. Let's grab our block here. And I'm going to grab my Field Notes and Eccentric here. And just stamp away. Yeah, whatever you want to do. I'm going to start with Specimen here, of course. Now, hopefully this is inked well enough that I don't have to re-ink it during this episode. Okay. Now keep in mind, we are going to be cutting out a 2-inch hole, so don't worry about covering the entire thing. Just make sure you get your edges. Or you can wait till after you punch out your holes, yeah? This is probably what I should have done. You know what? Let's do that. Just that way I don't waste time inking what I don't need to ink. Okay, so let's do this. Try to get this centered here as best I can. And there we go. Yeah. Okay. Okay, last one that's centered. I think so. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna put these aside because I do use the circle punch outs for other stuff. Okie dokie. Now, when you punch out your holes, if you're using a 2-hole punch, you will notice that there is a thinner or a more narrow side than the other. I want you to put this part as the top of your pocket. Easier to put things in. If you use this gets a little flimsy. Okay, I made the mistake of using this as the top part once, but it's up to you. Either or, you can do it either way. Actually, scratch that. I'm sorry. Use the thin part as the top of your pocket, because we are going to be putting some labels down here at the bottom. Yeah, but again, it's personal preference. It's up to you. If you want to use this one, if you want to use it this way, or you want to use it that way, do what you want. I'm not your mama. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. So, let's start stamping these properly. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Yes. I do like putting like blank labels on things, so kind of like a half on, half off deal. I do that pretty often. Now I'm just randomly grabbing at this point. Let's see, how about this one here? Oh, handle with care. Actually, I'm going to put this on a different one. Okay. Now you could, if you wanted to, put them all 4 out and just stamp them all as you go. Yeah. Okay. Let's take that one off. Put this to the side. What else can we use? We can use a field label one. Okay, how about this right here? Yes, nice. something circular. Put this kind of off center a little bit. There we go. Numbers. Of course, you gotta have more numbers. Okay. What else have we got over here? How about this guy? There's something circular here. Let's come over here. Come on now, stick. What else have we got here? Is on here? Stay on there now. I think I might come over here to this one a little bit. Here. Yes, it looks like I'm literally going to use all these at some point here. Why not? Okay. Let's see, what else have we got in here? Then I'll go look at something else. Over type slide right here. Okay. Let's just keep it going. How about our identification card stub is always a good one to use, yeah? Put that one right about, how about we put that up here? Okay, good. Let's see, we got some more in the bottom here, so let's get some of those. Oh, there's a good one here. Something nice right about, oh, I don't know, right about here. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at my other little box here. Now these are eccentric and field notes all mixed up. I don't know which is which anymore. So I just kind of throw them in here all together. Yeah. Just another blank label I'm going to put on here just for giggles. Like that. It's another circular label. Let's use this one. We don't have one over here, so how about right there? Yes. Need to do some filling in here. I love this 5. It's going on somewhere. Who's going to get it? I guess it's going to be this guy. Right there. I love this 5 so much. I think we'll put it right here. Yeah. Okay. What else? Let's do something. Well, we got a little botanical one here. Let's put this on somewhere. How about this 3? Will it go anywhere? How about you fill in that space right over there? Actually, no. We're going to put a number right there. This guy right here. Fill in that space, and then that one's done for all intents and purposes. And how about a department one, fill in the space here maybe? It's gonna need a little bit of something else right there. So how about we go with this little guy right here, level number 95 level. Here. All right, I'm satisfied with that one. Do that one again here. Let's see, let's put something right there. Ooh, let's put I got a 3. That might look pretty cool there. Or about the 4.5. Yeah. 4.5. Fit nicely right there. And let's just fill this one in. Yes? Alright, I'm going to use the larger identification check here. Fill in this bottom piece. Yeah. And then let's put a number there going in another direction. So how about this one here? Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I feel like we need something there, so let's do a circular one there. For giggles. Something like, yeah. I almost want to put another label kind of sticking in there, or maybe down here. Let's do this first. Yes, that's good. And I kind of want to put this here. I kind of do. I'm going to kind of do it. I'm going to kind of do it. All right. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So, we finished stamping our pockets. That's pretty quick, I think. I'm going to try to not look at the time. Because I know this, when I first made one of these, it took me like forever. So, since it's been a while, it may take me just as long to do. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to put our ink away. We're going to switch inks back to our distress ink and go ahead and distress these as well. Okay, and then once I ink these, I'm going to take them over to the machine and I'm going to stitch these also. Again, not required. It serves no purpose but as a look. Okay, grunge these up really good. I think I'm also going to speckle these as well before I stitch it. I'm going to make sure we get the inside of our window as well. Okay, there's one. These look pretty cool already, don't they? And we're just getting started, y'all. Now once we finish making this, we are going to attach it to our Lapbook. And this will be the last piece that we make for the Lapbook. So we actually are finally done. What episode is this? Episode 20? I believe now. So we haven't been working on 20 weeks, so there were some weeks where I put more than one episode up. But this has been a few months work for us, if you've been crafting along. And I can't wait to see what you guys would make. So if you have been crafting along or making a Lapbook as well, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you've made. I would really love to see what you guys have done. Okay. Make these nice and grungy and dirty. Ooh, excuse me. Let's flip that anywhere. Put that anywhere, Tiana. Now, I'm going to go over these again with my blending brush just to make them even dirtier. Just because. So we've gone from this color to this grunginess. Love it. Okay. So how was everybody's weekend so far? I hope you are having a wonderful weekend. My weekend, you guys know me, I sometimes overshare, but it has been a doozy of ups and downs and learning things about, what's going to happen with my divorce and, how things are going to work out. The ironic thing is, which I did not expect, is my husband and I are now getting along quite well. We're communicating more, we talk more. I would go as far as to say we're getting along better now after a year separation than we had the last couple of years we were married before we got separated. It got to the point to where it was me just begging for him to talk because I knew something was wrong and him keeping things inside and yeah. But he and I are actually getting along quite well and are enjoying each other's company. What does that mean? I don't know. That doesn't mean we're reconciling by any means at this point. While I would love to, he still has his heart set on the divorce, which of course it'll be a no contest thing. I'm not going to try to keep him, right? You don't want to keep somebody who doesn't want to be there. Anywho, we'll get more into that as we go along today if you want to know. Okay, so here we are. We have cut our pockets for this part on the inside here. Yeah, we've stamped them pretty well, I think. Let's do some speckling for giggles before we forget. Get that done. Before we do the stitching, it'll be a lot easier. Let's make it even more distressed here, yeah? And again, I'm just using the Scorched timber to keep it subtle. You can use a darker ink, of course, something like, Force of Fine Clairs, Fallen Leaves, if you want to do that. I could always change my mind and come back and want to do it darker. Who knows? We shall see. I think we're good. Like that, don't you? I think I want this one a little darker here. It's a little too bright for me. That's a little better. There we go. Alright, do I want to put some grid work, some of that grid stamp on it, you guys? I kind of do. You know I love this stamp. So, what do you guys think? Is it going to be overkill? I don't think so. We'll do just little light touches here and there. Okay, yeah, that works. Just some light touches if you have this stamp, just to add some texture, yeah? Yeah, I like it. Kind of fills in some more empty spaces there. And again, just a light touch. You don't have to slam it down. Just enough to get the impression and some texture. Yeah, digging it. Digging it, digging it. Now you'll notice I'm not pressing down too hard. I'm just tapping it. A little more pressure in some places than others. Yeah, I like it. That was a good idea, I think. For me personally, I like the look. Alright, so this is what we have now. Our 4 pockets. Now I'm going to go do the stitching that you see here. Alright, and I'll be right back. Alright, here we go. We've got our pockets sewn. We've got them stamped. Alright, they're going to go on the insides here, like so. Now, let's cut down these strings just a smidge. We've got one hairy lady here, yeah? Let's just do a little jagged cut. So to do that, I don't do an even cut. I'll just kind of take the blade and slide it down to make it an uneven type of cut, yeah? So it's not like a straight across type of deal. Alright, so just kind of take your blade and push it down a little bit. unless you want to keep them long, and it's up to you. There you go. It's kind of like how they trim your hair when they do some texture at the ends of the hair. Kind of just put it down. She's just going to snip like that. Okay. Did that. The scissors that I'm using, these are the spring-loaded Tim Holtz scissors. Again, you guys know me, I don't push products on people. I give recommendations. So for this one, I do have one of each of the new sets of scissors. I have this, I have the haberdashery scissors, I have the very long, I believe they're 7-inch serrated edge scissors, and the shorter set as well. And I've got this, and I didn't really understand the purpose of the spring. Like, I had to try it, right? I love all of the scissors for their own specific reasons. This one is great. It's super sharp. So if you do get this, don't lose this top, okay? This right here will stab the bejesus out of you. And these blades are super sharp, okay? So you want to keep that together. They're very smooth. The spring loading, this is great for fussy cutting. Let me tell you, oh my God. If you're fussy cutting, this is a must, I think. I don't particularly care for fussy cutting. I don't mind it. Once I start doing it, I kind of, get into a groove and I just keep going. But these are great for fussy cutting. Just FYI. Not affiliated with Tim Holtz in any way. It's just my, my personal opinion on these scissors. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to glue these inside here. Oops, let's flip that anywhere, Tiana. All right, so since we cut them 3, and each of these panels is 3.5, you should have plenty of space on the outsides there to glue your piece down. Now I'm going to use art glitter glue here, so I want a very thin bead, all right? And I'm actually going to cut off these strings that are on the inside. I don't want them interfering with my glue. I'll leave the ones that are on the outside. Yeah, that you can see. Because sometimes I find if you leave these strings on the inside and it gets yanked or pulled, it could pull your pocket off the page. And we don't want that, right? All right, so here we go. I'm going to put a bead. Excuse me. Get this pin out of my mouth. We're going to put a bead on the very edges here. Okay, we want to have as much room in our pockets as possible. I'm going to start down here at the bottom. Okay. Now I'm going to give it a little smush where I push it at the top a little bit. Just let it buckle up a little bit, give it a little bit of room. So it's not so tight at the top, because these do not have gussets, obviously. Okay. Again, I'm going to snip off the inside strings here. Just the ones on the inside. Or the whole thing. Up to you. However you want to do you. I'm not your mama. I just don't want things to get pulled up that don't need to get pulled up. Oh, and these things also has a little lock. When you're using these will stay open just for safety reasons. Make sure you lock those things if you're just going to leave them sitting around. Them things dangerous. They will get you. Trust me. Alrighty. Include this little lady right here. Get a little smush at the top. Okay, let that set. Let's grab the next one. Gonna cut out the inside strings. Okay. Alrighty. And just continue to glue your pockets down. Watch out your strings. You don't want them to get glued down, right? A little smush up there. Okay. Last one here. All right. I feel like I'm not being very talkative this morning. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm talking too much. So I want to say hello to some of our new subbies that we've had join in the last few 24 hours. And I believe Judy, your sister, is now one of our subbies. So hello, Jill. How are you? Glad you can make it. And in response to Soul, I think I've already responded, but yes, dear, I will be putting up more stuff in the store. I have some projects that I'm working on right now. I just, it's taking me a while to get them finished. Takes time. I do have, let me see what I got over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5, 4 folios and a journal that I'm starting, and I've got 2 more in the wings getting ready to start. So, patience, dear. They're coming. They're coming, I promise. As soon as I can get them out to you guys. Okay. There are 4 pockets. Let's, safety reasons, put this bad boy away. Okie doke. So now this is where we are here. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and make these inserts here. Okay. Now these are the most difficult part, I think. We still have to do these. We still have to do the front, the pockets, and then some just decorating. Yeah. So how do we do these? Now, to do these, you will need your acetate. If you don't have acetate, like I said, just use cardstock, okay? And put your bug or your plant or whatever you're going to use as your focal point on top, glue it on top. No big, right? And a label or however you want to decorate it. So what I'm going to do is use the acetate. So I need well, where's my acetate? Hello, I know I brought some because I grabbed 2 sheets of it. Oh, it's over there. Ha ha ha. Well, up here, where I said I wouldn't lose it, and I lost it. Okay, let's move our fussy cutting out of the way. Where am I going to put this so it doesn't get out? Oh, we'll just dump those over there for now. Okay, so I've got my acetate here, and we're going to cut 8 2.5 by 3 1/4. Okay, that should fit into these 3x3s, okay? And depending on where your glue is on here, you may have to make adjustments to make this fit, okay? So start at 2.5 by 2 3/4, and then make your adjustments to make this fit, okay? Before you sew it, if you're going to sew, yeah? So let's do that first. Where is that darn paper trimmer? Here he is. All right, what did I say? 2.5 by 2 3/4. We need 8 of them. So 2.5 here. Make sure I got everything lined up. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. It's 2.5. Let's see how many we get out of this. By 2 3/4. Yes. 1. 2. Maybe get 4 out of 1 strip would be nice. Let's see how lucky we are. 3. Are we lucky? Shut the front door. That's perfect. Boom. All right, there's 4. All right, let's cut another strip here of 2.5. Is it lined up? Yes. Two 3/4. 5. 6. Seven, and this should be 2 3/4, and it is. Here we go. There are our 8. All right. Now I'm going to put this piece of paper down just so we can see what was going on here. Okay. Now, all right. So we have our 8 pieces. Yes. Now, what I want you to do is decide on your focal point. Okay. Or your specimen that you're going to put in here. Since this is a gardening lapbook, we are going to go with flowers, right? So I have different options here at different sizes. I do want, let me get this out of the way. Oh, that doesn't go here. That's the, goes over here in this one. I do want to be able to see the specimen within the circle that I've punched. So within the space, you want to, up to you. If you want it smaller, use the smaller one, right? I would like to use the larger ones. So I will use that one. This one. Let's see. It's a little too large, I think. We'll go to the next size down. Here, and which one didn't I use yet? I think this is called a violet, maybe. Let's see which size fits better. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the larger one, even though it's going to be partially hidden. I'm fine with that. So yeah, these are the 4 that we're going to use, and these came from the Entomology and Botanicals collection kit that I showed you guys earlier this morning. And what you're going to want to do if you're doing it the way I'm doing it. Now, you're going to have the fussy cut. She does double print each size on the kit. So you can flip them over like so. So they're mirrored. Okay, you see how they're mirrored? They're the opposite direction. So you can do this, which is what we're going to do, right? So let's go find the sizes, line them up, and then we're going to glue these together. So you'll see the specimen on both sides of the slide. And where's my other... Is that a poppy, I think? Okay. Now. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue these down. We're going to distress them. Okay? Then we're going to glue it down to the acetate. We're going to probably put a label or something, or a label on the inside as well. And then we're going to go stitch them. Okay? So give me 1 second. Alright, you guys. Sorry, I had to take a little break. Somebody needed some pancakes, so I had to make some pancakes for my daughter for breakfast. So, anywho, where were we? Okay, so we are working on the next part of this little slide folder. We're going to be working on these pieces here. Now, while I was away, I started thinking, I know I told you guys if you don't have acetate, use cardstock. And I started thinking, like, that's not a good alternative. So, if you have a printer, I thought it might be a better idea if you printed out maybe these smaller ones here, right? And use these instead of, if you don't have the acetate, you can use these without the, without the acetate, and just put a backing on it, right? And then put your specimen in here. What do I mean by that? So let's go ahead, and I'm going to cut one out just to demonstrate what I was thinking, to see if this would work as well for you guys. Now, I would use this one here that's got not the front and the back cut out, right? So I'm going to cut this out real quick and see if this is a better alternative. I think this will be a better alternative, or maybe even, I think this one would be a little too wide. You'd have to cut it down, slim it down a little bit. But let's just go with this. You know what? Let's try this one out. Let's see here. So if we use this one, it would work. We just need a little trimming down. And I think this would be a better size. So let's do this one. So this is for, in case you're just catching up, if you do not have the acetate to create something like this, right? That would go into this pocket where we are right now, or what stage we're at the moment. Get in there. Don't be difficult. Come on. Just caught on something. in the world? There we go. Oh, it's stuck on this here. There we go. If you don't have the acetate, I think it would look better versus just using plain cardstock, which that's kind of boring, right? Let's use one of these slides. Just print off from this from the kit I was telling you about. That's the Entomology and Botanicals, again from the Junk Journal Studio. And again, this is an alternative to not having the acetate to make the slides, right? So what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting out the slide to test to see if this would be an alternative. I think this will fit in the measurements of the pocket. We may have to trim it down just a little, if at all. I think we'll have to trim it down a little bit. And then, let me move this stuff to the side here. Because I really wanted to provide you an alternative to the acetate. So where is my little craft knife here? Alright, I'm going to use my craft knife here to cut out these notches here. Okay. We're getting this one off here. Here we go. Okay. So we'll cut these pieces out, and then we'll cut out the square, the window there. I'm doing this instead of scissors because it's easier for me on little things like this. I mean, you could use that set of scissors that I just showed you, the spring-loaded Tim Holtz ones would probably work here, but these tiny right angles, I find the craft knife handles it a lot quicker, a little less stress. Yeah. I'm going to fold it in half along this line here. And then take my corner rounder, if I can find it, and it's over here. I'm reaching for it. Excuse me if I got the camera. Okay. And then just clip off these corners real quick. Let's use the 4. Yeah. So it's a little off center here. So I can straighten this up a little bit. Here we go. Okay, now I'm just going to trim it. So they're the same size. Okay. Got some more white edge on here when I get off here. Okay. Then I'm going to cut out the window. Almost there. And there we go. Okay, now let's see if this fits into our pockets like I'm thinking that it will. Okay, it does. It's a little tight, so I'm going to go ahead and cut just a sliver off of this edge over here. Okay, just a little. Now you could cut off both sides, but you just have to reglue this side here, okay? And then once we ink it, you shouldn't really notice the difference. Okay, now if we try to slide this in, there we go. So this is an alternative, okay? If you don't want to, if you don't have the acetate to make what we're going to make today, from this kit, the Entomology and Botanicals Slides, Label, Words, and Fussy Cuts, page 2, Junk Journal Studio. Go ahead and cut out your slide, cut it to fit, and then put your specimen in here like so, right? And then you'd have a nice insert versus just using plain cardstock, okay? And then add a tab up here for for it to pull out easily, right? What do I mean by tab? Well, easy. Just grab one of your tabs. Okay, once you glue this together, here, let's just do it real quick so we can do this together, so you can see a finished product here, right? So, if it was me, I would go ahead and ink these edges of my specimen that I'm going to put in the window, right? Glue that down. Come on. Come on. That's clogged. Again, if you don't have acetate, this will still work fine because you don't have to put acetate in the window if you don't want to. If you don't have the acetate, it's totally fine. No big whoop. And here, you could also put brads here, here, and here. Or use the Arranger acrylic dots. Or use the little screw head tops that Mr. Tim Holtz has. Any of that would work and would look totally great and fine. Let's put this down like so. Okay, let's go ahead and ink these edges up, get it all nice and distressed looking. Again, this is an alternative to the acetate slides that we're about to make. Yeah? And then go ahead and then put a tab on it, like so. You can go ahead and stamp that, or put a label on it. And then you go ahead and go around and stamp this on as well. Let's say we put some speckling on it. Yeah. Again, this is just, you know, real quick, just to give you an alternative, an idea of what else you could do instead of using the clear acetate like we're about to do. Yeah. So like I said, you make something like this instead of the clear acrylic ones. slide that in. Oh, it's getting caught right there on that little piece there. I didn't glue it down all the way. Here we go. And then just slide that in like so. Okay? Then you have your tab where it easily pulls, where you can pull it out fairly easily, right? And then reinsert it as you need it, right? So that'll work. So that's another alternative, okay? So I came up with that while I was making pancakes. All right? There's another option. Okie dokie, artichokes. Let's keep moving on to the the clear acetate slides. All right. So what are we going to do with these? Well, right now I'm going to distress all the fussy cuts and then glue them together. Now, I'm going to distress them pretty heavily because I cut them individually, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to match up perfectly. So I'm going to ink them pretty heavily on the ends, on the edges here. And then I'll just trim off what needs to be trimmed off. Oh, nice catch. Nice catch. Okay. Like I said, I'm distressing these pretty heavy because, well, they're supposed to be dried up, right? You don't want them looking too bright. Or alive, as it were. Now, you notice when I fussy cut mine, I did what's called kiss cutting. If you're unfamiliar with what kiss cutting is, it's basically leaving this white border around your cut versus cutting right up against the line. I don't have the patience to do that or the skill to do that, especially around when you're getting around bug antennas and whatnot. So I do the kiss cutting more often than not. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach these pieces together. And I'm going to line them up as best as I can, and then I may cut off some extra here, which I am. Now, one of the keys to fussy cutting, for those of you who are new, is when you are cutting, is to move the paper instead of moving the scissors. What do I mean by that? I mean, don't do this with your scissors. Okay? Hold your scissors steady, and then move the piece you're cutting against the blade. Okay? Like that. Keep your scissors steady and move the image, not the scissors. You'll get a nicer cut more often than not. Okay? I probably should have glued them together first before I inked them. Probably would have made more sense, huh? Okay. Alright, there's one. Let's go ahead and glue them together first, this time, before I start making errant cuts. Just matching them up as best I can. Okay, now I'll go and cut whatever's extra. Okay, yeah, that was a better idea. Okay. Again, I'm just moving the image against my blade versus moving my scissors around. Okay. It doesn't mean you don't move your scissors at all. You want to lead the cutting with the paper, not with the scissors. If that makes any sense. I hope it makes sense. Okay. Again, just line them up as best you can. It's going to be hard. This little angle in here is going to be rough. Here we go. All right. A couple more little cuts right there. Another little cut right there. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Now, blow all this off of here. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to glue our specimen onto the acetate, okay? Now, this will dry clear. You don't need much. You just want enough to get it to sit still, okay? So I'm just going to put a couple dots on here. Just enough to get it to sit still. Right? And then it will dry clear. And then the same on the front here. Just a couple of dots. For it to sit still. Line up your acetate as best you can. And there we go. Yeah? Okay. Let's put that to the side. So we're going to do the same thing on the other three. Just a couple of dots here. Don't go too close to the edge because you don't want it to smear up on the acetate too much if you can help it. Yeah? Okay. And just press on that. That'll smush out the art glitter glue. Make it a lot easier for it to dry clear and so where you cannot see it. Yeah? Now what I should have done, what I meant to do is put a label on this before I glue this top on, but since I'm only gluing it down to the specimen part, we still have room to maneuver to put a label inside here. So those of you who are going, wait, what about the label? Don't worry, we'll put it on. We're just going to do it a different way than I originally had planned. Again, working the problem and adapting. Make a mistake, so what? We can fix it. We can fix it. We can cover it. We can alter it. We can not do it at all. But I am going to put one on there. Okay. And just smush down the art glitter glue and it will disappear into the paper. Yeah? Make sure you've lined up your acetate as best you can. And there are our 4 slides to start with. Now I'm going to grab my snippets, my Tim Holtz snippets rather, and put some little tiny labels on the inside there. I'm just going to grab 4, not too large ones, not too small, yeah? Okay, so I'm going to grab this one over here. There we go. Now what am I going to do with these? I'm going to distress these, of course, and we're going to put these inside those 2 layers of acetate, yeah? Alright, so what I'm going to do is grab my tweezers here, put my glue on, open this up just a little bit, if you can see what I'm doing, and I'm just going to pop that right there. Yeah? Just like that. Easy peasy. I'll put one over here, maybe on this side. Oh, excuse me. This one is upside down, I think. Nope, that was right. It's so tiny, I couldn't tell which way it goes up. I put this one down here. Like that. This one. A little too much glue that time. And I'll put this one down here. Okay. Now, time for the stitching. So let me go do the stitching. And I shall return with our next steps, okay? Before I do that though, let's make sure that these fit into our pockets so we don't have to do any trimming first. Remember I said depending on where you put your glue, you may have to trim the sides a little bit. So I'm gonna try this one here. That one fits fine. This one fits. This one fits. Awesome. So far so good. And this one's having a little, oh, there it goes, slides right in. There we go. So these all fit, no need to trim. All right, now I'm going to go do the stitching. Okay, so stitching is done. Came out pretty nice, I think. What do you guys think? Yeah? Came out pretty good. So now we're going to put the tabs on. And I'm going to use these square or rectangular tabs here that I punch out with my paper punched here. Give these all a nice good creasing here. We'll distress these. We'll stamp these. And then we'll put them in the pockets. Alright, let's do some distressing here. After this, we'll do the front cover, and that will be about it. Okay. So I hope you guys are enjoying this one. I know it's another long video, but it's a really cute little piece. I think you'll enjoy making these. Look really good, as you know, like I said, we're attaching it to inside the spine, but it could be, you know, and insert into a pocket. You could turn it into a little notebook if you wanted to add some paper to it. In the middle, you know, a little tiny signature. It could be a little booklet, all kinds of things. And they look really cool, which is kind of the whole point. And I'm just going to brush these out a little bit. All right, let's get some stamps over here. Let's grab our Eccentric and Field Notes again. And I'm just going to stamp some numbers, okay? Do a little speckling and call it a day on the tabs. Now you can put labels on here if you'd like, you know, of course. Up to you. Put words, doesn't have to be numbers. I'm going to put files on one of these. Let's see. Number here. What else have we got in here? Let's see, this number ought to fit, yeah? Here we go. Perfect. And a little speckling to boot, just for giggles, yeah? Yeah, here we go. Then all we do is glue these to the slides that we just created. Okay, I'm gonna put mine on off to the side here. Okay. Difficult today. Okay. There's one tab. All right. Now I'll put this one opposite, on the opposite side here. Try to straighten this up here. It's getting a little crooked on me. There we go. Just checking, making sure that they're attaching here. And with this one, we're going to go over on this side, on the left side as well. Okay. All right. And there are our slides. Let's go ahead and put these inside of our pockets. Now, if you want, probably a good idea is to go ahead and round these bottom corners so they slide in easy. Just like I do with my tags, yeah. Uh-oh, looks like about time to sharpen my paper trimmer here. Okay. Okay, it slides in there. Come on, there you go. Here's one. There we go. There's another one. There we go. Go in there. Got caught on the tab a little bit there. Pull these strings out of the way. And here's our last one. I like the tabs kind of sticking up a little bit so that they're easy to see and grab. Yeah. There we go. And that's the inside, you guys. Cute, right? Nice closes. Okay. All right, let's do the front. Now for the front, we're going to make some little flaps here with some magnets. Okay. You don't have to use magnets. You can use Velcro if you like. Or if you don't want to use either, you can not use a tab and put a label there and then just let it slide underneath the label, right? So, for here, we're going to do the underside first, right? I'm sorry. We're going to put the slides on first because we want to try to cover up the little flat parts, right? So, first thing we're going to do is cut the pockets that I want to put there. So, for the pockets that I'm going to use, I'm going to just kind of place these real quick where I want them to sit. And we'll go there. And the other will flip here. And they'll flip open like so. Yeah? Alright, so. Alright, you guys. And let's keep going here. We are going to work on the cover now. So the cover, again, just to review, is going to have two flips, like so, right, with some pockets and some stamp work there. And I went ahead and grabbed my magnets, put those to the side. So we are going to use this particular die for these flip outs. Looks like this here. It's got two little windows cut out here. Now, from that set, if you do get that set that I've been telling you about the entire episode from Junk Journal Studio, I would suggest, let's see, I believe these are about the same size, probably a little bit bigger. Yeah, these are bigger. So probably I would use these from this page. This is page number 2 of the entomology and botanicals kit that I've been telling you guys about from Junk Journal Studio. So I would use those, or if you already have the die, go ahead and do that. Get your 2 of those cut out. And I'm going to give this a nice good creasing here. So the first thing we're going to do is set up the slides themselves. Put in the specimen, the acetate window here. We're going to do a little bit of decorating on it. We're going to cut the flaps, attach that. Then we're going to do some stamping in the pockets on top of that, and then we'll be done. Okay? So let's start with, what do I have here that I was going to use? I pulled from that same set this leaf here and this flower set here. So I think I'm going to use just part of it, of course. Probably just this part here. So let's cut that out. Let's see. Do I need to cut this one? So I'm going to cut it this way because I want it to fit in like that. And I'm not worried about it showing here because I'm going to cover that with a label. So I'll cut this one to fit. And do I want to use brads? I think I might. No, I'm actually going to use... I've got these... You know what? We'll get to that in a second. Let's do one thing at a time. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting anxious to get this part done. Alright, so let's cut this to size where I want it. I want it right about there. So I need to cut some of this top part off here. Make sure it fits in the window like I like and it's not showing up above in those notches, right? Okay. Then we're going to cut off some width here a little bit. And that fits right where I want it. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and glue that piece in. And then move this out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing. Ouch, I just stabbed myself with the pen. Darn, I do that all the time. It's not bleeding this time. Alright, so I'm just going to put the glue right here. We are going to end up closing it, so I'm not too concerned about it. So I just want it to sit still, right? Okay, let's flip the other way here, make sure I got it where I want it. Okay, that'll work. Alright, so that's going to be my specimen for this one here. I'm going to give it a little wipe down with a napkin here, get my fingerprints off. And then what we'll do is, from that same kit, I'm going to cut a label off and cover this area right here. Right? So let's see. I think we'll go with one of these here. And let's see which one will fit. So any of these would work. Okay, so there we go. Let's cut one of these out. I'm going to go with this one right here. I love these labels. They're nice and a deep. The colors are really rich. This brown is it's a beautiful, beautiful brown. I like brown labels, by the way. I don't use the color ones very often. I do, but not very often. Okay. Now what we're going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Okay. Now, if we wanted to, I'm not going to for this exercise, but you can. If you notice here, I have this actually, see, it's cut, you know, all the way through. I went ahead and I cut out the square in the back. Now we can do that, but for this exercise, I'm not going to do that. Actually, maybe I should. It's kind of too late since I've already put the acetate on there, but that's okay. We're going to leave it as it is. But you could do that. I'm going to close this shut. Okay. Now that I'm looking at this, I think I will cut the window out. I've got another one, some more cut. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to cut the window out. It doesn't look doesn't have the same look that I want here. And it almost defeats the purpose of having the acetate, right? So, how am I going to cut that out? Well, with this particular die, if you don't have one that already has the window cut out in the back, this set will have that. If you use this set, you notice it has that cut out already on both sides, right? Okay, oh, let's stay over there. All right, let's make some room here. We're getting a little bit cluttered. So all I'd have to do is get this in a crease, and I'm just going to trace out the... Can I get that out of there before it dries? I think I can. Yep. Perfect. So we can reuse this. I won't have to print another one out. All I'm going to do here is trace the window from the front to the back. Yeah. I'll do that on both. Okay. Then we'll take our handy dandy craft knife. Cut that out carefully. Make sure I'm still in frame here. Maybe I should bring you guys down a little bit. How's that? Better? Oop. That better? Okay. Sitting on my dress all weird again. Alright, let's cut this guy out. Now you can use your ruler to line up against this to cut yours out. I don't do that. Just this is the way I cut. Kind of falls over from when I used to be a tattoo apprentice and an artist. How does that relate? Well, there is one of the hardest things to do, in my opinion, as a tattoo artist, is to draw a straight line. We call it pulling a line. Now, to do that, instead of moving our hand with the machine to make the line like this, you run the risk of your hand or your fingers jiggling it all up. So the way I was taught was to find the line, and instead of moving my hand to cut the line, I move my whole arm back. And 9 times out of 10, I can pull that line straighter than anything. And I do the same thing here. And if you notice, my lines are pretty straight. So that's why I don't use a ruler. The ruler kind of messes me up. I don't know why it does, but it does. So I use my things I learned as a tattoo artist in this crafting, as far as cutting lines, straight lines. If you'll notice, once I put my craft knife down, I don't move my fingers, I move my whole arm back. And that'll usually give me a pretty straight line. And that's called pulling a line. That's literally what I'm doing, is I'm pulling it. And as long as I don't rush it, I can pull a pretty straight line. What do you think? Pretty straight, right? Not bad. I'm pretty proud of myself. Alright, so, okay. back to what we were doing. We are going to attach this back into here, like so. Okay. Just going to put some glue around edge here. All right. That where I want it. I think that's good right there. And notice I'm pushing the glue away from the window. We don't want it to get in there and muck everything up, right? Then we'll just go ahead and close it. Just going to put a little bit here and then all around here. I guess I really didn't have to put it there because that's open too, right? That's where our label's going to go. Just to have it cover everything with glue. Swipe that off, no biggie. Okay, just press this down. All right, and there is our slide base here. All right, now I'm going to take my label and put that on here. I am going to distress it a little bit. So not just inking it, but I'm actually going to rub my scissors across it to kind of distress the edges a little bit, make them look a little more worn. There is a tool that Tim Holtz makes that does this as well, but scissors work just as good. Does the exact same thing. And now we're going to ink it. Just gives it a little bit of a lift, a little more interest, a little dimension to it. Okay, and then we're going to glue that right about there. Yeah. Should I cut it down a little bit, I wonder? I feel like I should cut it down a little bit. Yeah, I think I will. Because I don't want it that close to those holes. So I'm just going to trim it ever so slightly. Not too much where the window's exposed. We don't want that. So be careful. I think I like that a little bit better. Maybe I should have gone to this next size down, but this will work too. We can adjust, right? Yeah, that'll work. Now, if you want to use brads, you would want to put the brads in before we glue it shut, of course. If you're going to use the Ranger Arts enamel dots, wait till you're completely done decorating before you use those. So you have to let those cure overnight or for at least a couple of hours before they harden. I'm going to use the little Tim Holtz screw tops. They're just little flat screw head tops that go down. It looks like they look like screws, right? I think I have some still left. If not, then I will be using the enamel dots. I guess. Maybe. Well, I don't have much of a choice now that I've already glued it shut. So, pretty sure I still have some. Pretty sure. Almost positive. Okay, let's glue this down now. Okay. Let's get that centered. There we go. All right, now I'm going to ink it. a little even more distress. I mean, you can even run your scissors across the slide too if you like. Rough that up a little bit. That might be a look as well. Get the window here. Alright, I'm just going to take my blending brush and blend it out a little bit. And we are going to do the back because it's a flip, so you will see the back. Okay. All right. Now in the one I've showed you before, as far as decorating, we're going to also put a tab on it like this. Okay. We're going to do. So I'm going to put a stamp up here. I'll put another label right here, and then we'll add a magnet at the very end once we decide where it's going to be. Right. So let's go ahead and do the other slide, then we'll do some stamping and work on the back of it, okay? Now this is the one I chose for that, so I think see how this will look right here. I wonder if I should do more like that. I don't want to do that one. Okay. So I'm going to lay it right about here so I know where to cut it. Okay. I'm going to cut this piece off here. And then I'm going to cut a little off the top here. Okay, let me straighten this up a bit. Oops. Okay, I think I want it a little higher though, more there. So I need to cut off another 1/8 of an inch here off the top here, looks like. Just trim your specimen to fit, you know, however you need to do. Alright, I think that looks better. Okay, good. Now this time I'm going to ink my window beforehand. It'll be a lot easier. And we'll just go ahead and ink the whole thing while we're at it. Whew, so after this, you guys are going to get this late on Sunday. I still have to film Sunday's episode. And I'm going to try to get that one out tonight if I can get the... So my editing process is basically I film and then I watch the whole thing looking for mistakes and issues with sound or whatever. I don't really do any editing outside of that. Or if I need to put a note on the screen or something, if there's a mistake or whatever, I'll do that there. And put my clips together. But then I don't edit anything out. So when I say put clips together, it just means I've taken a break in between takes. Like this morning when I had to go make pancakes for my daughter. And then I had to take another break to go take her to work. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do some blending there. Just a little. Okay. I'm gonna wipe this off with a little napkin. Get the fingerprints off. Okay. Put that right there. And then I'm gonna put some glue here. Just enough to get it to stay put. Nothing too severe. That's where I want it. Yeah, that's where I want it. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and close this thing shut. Okay. All right. Looking good there. Let's get this thing down. All right, so now we have our two slides. Just gonna pick a label for this one, and I think I may go for a different one. Looks like that might be too short, I think. I think we'll go with the same size, we'll just trim it down. So we did collect it there. Let's do this one here. Now, if you missed it, this also comes from that Entomology and Botanicals freebie set off Ko-fi. Ko-fi or Ko-fi, whichever. For Junk Journal Studios. She's so nice to give us so many freebies with her collections. And it's not like just a tag or just like a image, it's like pages of stuff. I wish I could do digitals. That's one of the next things I want to learn how to do. I would love to be able to create freebie stuff like that for you guys. All right, let's make sure this fits well. All right, we're good there. Distress this. So what do you guys think of this project so far? Like it? Or this particular item, or this element? I think it's pretty cool. And I really wanted to put something in that spine. It just looks so bleh. You open up the Lapbook and there's this big black space there. It needed something for sure. Don't you think? All right. This nice and centered. Here we go. All right. Now, let's do the tabs. We need 2 more tabs. Here. Now you can use whale tail punches or the regular rectangle type tabs like these. Okay. I'll put these to the side for the moment. We're going to ink these as well. Then we're going to stamp some numbers on there. We're not going to do the back because the back is where the magnet is going to go. So we're just going to ink the all the way around, front and back. Then we'll stamp the front, and we're going to put a magnet on the back eventually. And again, just blend out the inking a little bit so it's not so harsh. What else can we talk about? Because we still have a little bit ways to go here. So, let's see. Do y'all want to talk about my divorce? They're like, no, we don't. Enough with the divorce, Tiana. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. It is what it is, you know? So, but my church, they recognize the civil divorce, but they don't recognize the actual divorce in the church. So as far as the church is concerned, we'll still be married. So there's that fun piece of information. All right, so I'm going to put one tab on this side since it's going to open this way, and then I'll put one other tab on the other side, go in the other direction. Yeah. Okie dokie. I'm going to darken this up a little bit more. It's a little too clean for my taste here, I think. There we go. Alright, let's get some. I'm going to pull out my Tim Holtz again. Let's grab a few numbers here to stamp on here. See what we got here. Let's see, how about this one here? Let's see what I got in the other box here. And how about this one right here? Grab my acrylic block here and my archival ink here. Okay. Try to get this on here straight. Right. And then this one. There we go. That'll work for me, y'all. Put those back up there. Put this over here. Put you back over there. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and attach these. So I'm going to let this one be on top here. So I'm going to put the tab here. So I need to crunch this up a little more, I think. Then we're going to do some speckling. And then we'll work on the back of the specimen slide. Okay. This will go right here. Just make sure it's straight. There. Okay. I think I might put some texture on this tab too. Maybe some grid work there. Looks a little plain to me, so I think we're going to be breaking out the old grid stamp again. Isn't she great? I love that thing. So versatile. I can use it on anything and it just makes everything look better. Alright. I'm going to go right here. Make sure that's on there straight. Looks good to me. Alrighty, now let's do some speckling on the front. So then we'll go ahead and speckle on the back. And why don't we go ahead and put some grid work on it too while we're at it, huh? Okay. Right, and just a little bit of grid, just cause we did it on the other ones. Just a little tap here and there. Okay, a little bit on the front. Go, I like that. And again, I'm not pressing too hard. I'm just doing this little tap here and there, just for texture. A little bit of interest. There we go. I like it, I like it, I like it. Alrighty, what is next? Okay, so we've got the fronts done. Let's work on the back. I think I want to put some stamping on the back here and another label for giggles. So let's pick out some small ones, I think smaller, to put on the back. So I'm going to pick from, I think this third column here. And I'm just going to grab these top. You know what? Should I go this way? Nah, we're going to go this one. I'll just pick these two top ones here. Yeah. And again, we'll distress. Okay, glue these on. Right, great. Okay. You guys still hanging in there with me? I know it's another long one. I told you guys that last week when I was going to do this one, this is a little bit of a complicated piece. But it looks cool. Or maybe I'm just a slow crafter. I think, you know, maybe I am. What do you guys think? Am I too slow? Alrighty, so these are done. Those are ready to go on. Put those to the side so they will look like this. So it'll be up here on top. This will be here up at bottom. And then they will open like so, and there'll be pockets beneath there. Now the pockets are going to be labels from that same collection or that same kit. Right? They're just larger labels that will turn into pockets. Right? And then we're going to do a little stamping on those too, I believe. Alright, so for this top one here, pocket, I'm going to choose this one. I believe. Let me see what else we've got over here. Or, let's see. I think I'll choose this field one here to put across there. Be a small pocket. And then we'll do, like this one has a longer pocket right here that we get a side loader. Yeah? Okay. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Yep, that's what we're doing. Okay. We'll do that one, and then we'll do this one right here. What do you think? What do you say? I wish I had my larger scissors around here, but they're on the other side of the room, so we're going to go with these little ones. Still work just as good, just the larger ones would have been a little quicker. Try to get this white off of here. There we go. All right, there's one. And here's the second small pocket that we're going to use. Alrighty, so again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a little distressing. We're going to put this one here is what I'm thinking. Be a little tiny top loader. And then this one I want to put here. And it'll be a little side loader, right? Okay, so before we put these on, we're going to make the little the flips for this, these guys here, right? Little hinges. So you need to grab some scrap paper. You'll need 1 inch wide, and these are, I believe, let me see here, how long are they? Or how wide are they? They are, let's just go ahead and say 1 by 2, okay? Break out my little paper trimmer here. I'll do 2 inches by 1. Where's the one? It's right there. Yeah. There's one. And there's another. Okay. Oh, I have to keep it on time because I have to go back and pick up my daughter again. All right, just fold these in half real quickly. And then all we're going to do is glue them to the back of the slides, yeah? And then we'll attach it to the folder. So, all right. Now, this top one first. I'm going to glue it to the slide first. Right here. Okay. Go. And then we're going to glue it down to the folder. Like this. Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. Just make sure that's straight. Come in here and just gonna give this a nice push here. Smoosh. And then give that a nice creasing as well up the top. Alright, then we'll let that sit for just a second. So see, easy peasy. There's our hinge, right? And then we'll do the same on this side, but on this side, right? Alrighty, so which was the back? I forgot which side's the back. Okay, so just line it up with the window, like so, okay? Alright. A little too much glue there. That's okay. Alrighty. Then we're going to glue it down. Same thing we did up top. Just line it up with the edge here. I'm going to get it right up to the edge. As close as I can get it. Let's see. I'm going to leave a little room at the bottom above the stitching. Okay, I'll press down there. Give that a nice crease again. We're going to open it up, push down here on the flap here. And there we go. Alrighty, so that's what we've got. We got our two flaps, okay? Now, next part we're going to put in our pockets. This one's going to go right here. Yeah? And this one will go here as a side loader. I'm wondering if I should do a bigger one of these. This seems a little too small, don't you think? What about that one? I think we'll do this larger one instead. That just looks a little out of place. All right, let's see here. All right, let's do a little bit of inking. On our pockets. Then we're going to do some stamping on the front of the, we're going to do some stamping on the cover. Then we're going to attach these, do a little more stamping on top of that. And put our magnets on, put our little screw tops on, and then we'll be done. So we are almost there. So hang in there with me for just a little longer, y'all, okay? All right, let's grab our specimen, our eccentric and field notes again. And we're going to do some more stamping. Where's my block? There it is. Come here, you. All right. Do something right about here. Yeah. Let's do some numbers. Coming down this side here. How about the collect? Why not? Always a good choice when you're doing entomology, field note kind of stuff, right? So that one's going to be the side loader, so we don't need to go too deep into this, so it's going to be there, right? So let's put it here. Yeah. So we put that there. Okay, let's put something right there. How about some of that grit stamp that I love? You know we're going to get to it. All right, let's do that right here. Cover up some stuff here. Maybe there. A little here. There. There. Here. Yeah. Like it. Like it. Like it. God, I love this stamp. Okay. I think I want to put something else right here, just for giggles. Okay. And that will be good right there. So we'll put this one here. You put something, a little something there, a little something there. How about, let's see, what do we got over here? We've got this guy. So if we're here, and this one will go here. Do this right here. Okay. I feel like my light is blinking. Is my light blinking? 1 second, you guys. Let me check this thing here a little bit. I think it is blinking. Yep, it is. I'll be right back, guys. Let me fix this light. All right. I think I fixed it. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and put on this pocket here. Okay. Put that right there. Okay, we're going to just push down the edges and then give it a little smush at where the entrance is, right? And up here, same thing. Put that right about there. Give it a little smush where the entrance is. Like so. Okay? Alrighty. You guys, we're almost done. Okay. Now, a little sip of my water here. Let's do some speckling. There we go. A little there. I think that's plenty, don't you? Now, the last things we're going to do is we're going to put the magnets on. And then we'll attach this piece. Let me find my little screw tops that I was talking about. See if I have enough. I need 8. I do have some. And these are called Screwheads by Tim Holtz, Ideology series here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I do have 8. I have a little over, it looks like I have 10. So let me show you what I'm about to do here. Come on now. Alright, so I'm going to grab, like, how many different layers of plastic are on this thing? How do I get to it? Oh, there's another whole thing here. Okay. Alright, pull this out. And I'm going to grab these guys. Maybe some tweezers. These are little screw heads. See if you can see these. I'm going to bring them up to the camera. That I'm going to put in place of brads. You guys see that? The little screw heads. This is a little flathead screwdriver one. And they're Phillips heads also. At this point, I'm just glad that I have enough, so I'm not really going to care if they match. To be honest, if I'm honest. I'm just going to grab 8 if I can get them. Come here, you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. I'm going to keep those tweezers around. I have a feeling I'm going to need those. Close that back up. Okay, again, these are called Screwheads. Can you guys see that? We got the Glare Screwheads by Tim Holtz. Yeah? Different sizes. And all we're going to do is we're going to glue them down and stick them down. Yeah? So I think the best way to do this is going to be, I'm going to put the glue on where the holes are and then put the screw head on it. Like this. And then just tap it down. It will dry clear, so I'm not too concerned about the glue seeping out the sides. Go. Grab another. Just drop it down. Alright, we're going to keep going all the way around here. Tap that one down. Okay. Let's do the other side here. And I'm going to actually put a paper clip on that to keep that level so they don't slide. If I could find myself a paper clip or a clip of some sort. There we go. Let's just use one of these little bulldog clips. Keep it down. So they don't go sliding where they ain't supposed to go sliding. Yeah? Okay. Right. Almost there, you guys. Just these last few elements to go, just for the part of the decorating. Oops. Oops. Stay down. Okay. This is already starting to dry clear if you notice, see? Right there and there. So do not fret if the glue seeps out the sides. Just means you've got plenty of glue on it. In this particular case. Flip this over. Drop that down. Okay. I've got another little clip over here that I got. Keep this down for just a minute. Now, I am going to take a quick break to let that dry. Alright, and then we're going to put on the magnets and then we'll be done. So I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, let's finish this bugger up. Now, they've dried enough and they are doing well. There's our flaps there and there. Yeah. So we're just going to put on a few magnets. So we got a pocket here right now and a pocket here. Okay. So I'm going to grab my Zots. That's what I use to attach my magnets. So these are about, I want to say these are done by millimeters, but they are a millimeter thick and they're only about, I want to say, not quite a centimeter wide. If I get them apart. Okay, so I'm going to take one of these and attach it to the adhesive Zot here. That's Z-O-T-S, by the way. These are what I use. These Zots here. Here. Okay, press that into the little adhesive dot there. We're going to pull that off very gently. Okay. Alrighty. And I'm going to attach it to the back of the tab in the center. Just like that. I'm just going to press that down. Okay. Take my second magnet. Make sure I attach the right side. Okay. Take another little Zot here. I'm going to rip it off of the strip here. Make sure to put the right side down. So we're going to go this way. We want to flip it over so that it attaches like this. Yeah. Let that set here for just a second. Give it a nice pressing into the adhesive. And again, gently peel that off. You want to bring the adhesive with the magnet. You don't want to leave it on the strip. Okay. Did I get enough on there? I sure didn't. I peeled off too much. Hold on one second here. Let me get that off and try again. If you're not careful, you'll peel the adhesive off with it and it won't stick. There we go. Let's try that again. Come on now. Having some difficulty with this today. Usually it's not this hard to take off. Alright, I'm going to set this on top of this magnet so we get the placement exactly right. And just flip it down. And press that. And they should separate just like that. And you've got it in the exact spot you need it. Now, sometimes the adhesive will come out, will seep out the sides. What I do, I don't like leaving it there. So I'll put my finger on the magnet and press down as hard as I can and grab that little piece that's sticking out with some tweezers and rip it off. Okay? I don't like that adhesive to show. So now, give this to a little press here, and then there we go. That one's done. Alright? We're going to do a rinse and repeat on this side. Same deal. Grab one magnet. Put it on my little Zot here. Rip that off. Do the same thing. Just press it into that adhesive real well. Gently peel it off the backing. Making sure not to leave any of the adhesive behind. Okay. There we go. I'm going to center that on the tab. Just like we did before. Press that down. Alright. A little adhesive came out of there on the side. So I'm going to press down real hard on the magnet. And just grab that piece that's seeped out and pull it off. Okay? There we go. Now, just making sure we've got the right side attached. I'm going to drop that magnet on top of that first one. Grab another Zot. Take this magnet, flip it over. And just to double check I've got it on the right side, dropping it down, making sure it attaches. Because if I put it on the wrong side, they will repel each other. See this? Watch. See how the door, they push away from each other? They won't connect. So you have to make sure you got the right sides attracting, okay? Magnets are polarized, so one side's negative, one side's positive. To the same side do not connect or do not attract. They will repel, they will in fact repel each other. So always double check to make sure you got the right side of the magnet facing up with its pair, okay? Very important. Okay, here we go. Now I'm just going to drop this down like that. Close my flap, push down, and these should separate like so. Press this down, and I'm going to pull off any of the adhesive that seeped out. Just like that. Now the reason you want to press down because you don't want to pull the adhesive that's underneath that magnet. Just what's sticking out. Okay? Boom. And now we're done. La, 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 la. Finally, only took us 2 hours. But here we are. We got our flaps here, like that. These are pretty strong magnets, so you might want to push these down a little bit more. We got our folder pocket here, right there. Open this one up here. Got this little pocket right here. Close that up. It'll attach like so. Open it up, and we got a couple we got 4 pockets here with these transparent slides that are double-sided in there. Yeah? What do you guys think? You like it? I think it's pretty tough. All right, let's attach it and call this a video so I can get to Sunday Series Sunday. It's going to go right there, just like so. So as soon as you open it up, that'll be the first thing you see. And it's not going to impede on anything. Look at that. Plenty of room for it to hold, right? Okay. Open this up. Let's get some glue and put this baby down. We're just going to use art glitter since we're going paper to paper. No need to bring out the big guns or any double. You can use double-sided tape. You can use Fabri-Tac. I'm going to just use art glitter glue here. No hidden pockets here. We're going to cover the whole thing. Alrighty. Alright, I'm going to make sure that... Ooh, watch these strings. I want to glue the strings in there. Careful with that. Drop this thing down. Hopefully I get it center on the first try. Let's see. I'm going to lift the book up here so I can see you guys. 1 second. I think that's straight. Yep, I like it a little bit further up towards the top. Give that a little press down there. And you guys, we're done with most of this Lapbook now. We've got all the structure done. All the panels have their pieces and other elements. We finished the inside of the spine. That's it. Now we get to the fun part, the decorating part, okay? Which is like, well, this one we don't have to do, but we'll be doing some cluster work, some mostly cluster work, and I don't know what else. Maybe we'll do some stenciling and whatnot, but that's it. You guys, we're done. Can you believe it? Close this up. We still have to figure out the closure, and I think we're just going to do a wrap for this. What do you guys think? Just do like a D-ring wrap with it, or we could, let's see, we could still put some sort of closure going this way, right? Like a bolt with a strap. We could do that too. Do the strap, we attach the strap here to here, put the bolt here, and let it fold over this way over the bolt, right? We could do that, or we could do the wrap. What do you guys think? We still haven't done the cover yet, which at this point is still going to be raised. It'll be this piece here, right? This on top, and then this piece is going to go there. So I think if we do the wrap, we run the risk of damaging this piece, right? So I think the bolt might be the best idea for this with a strap. But this is our cover. We're going to do the cover dead last, okay? But yeah, so we are pretty much done. So I want to do a quick look through real quick. So here we go. You know, let's just say the run through for the next episode. No, we're doing one now. Let's go do it. Sorry, here's panel number 1. We got some flip outs here, more flip outs here, more flip outs here, more flip outs here. Yeah. There. We have our journal here that is removable. We have our piece that we just made here, our Specimen flip out folder. Over here, we've got our big piece here. We got some envelopes on the front. Open up, we have file folders, we have specimen slides, we have accordion pockets, right? Going this way, we've got more magnetic envelopes. Flip it up here, we've got the 8-pocket wonder. We've got more file folders here. Open it all the way up like so. La 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 la. And we have all of these seed packets in here that have all been decorated. So that was pretty much decorated. We may put some cluster work, I don't know, on here. That's panel number 3. That simple tie here with the jute twine. Yeah. And then finally, panel 4 here has got the big waterfall elements, right? So this is held together again with simple jute twine. That's a floating free. Envelopes are in the front. And then we have these waterfall guys going on here. Yeah? So here all the way down for pictures as requested by the person who ordered it. Then we have a nice pocket back here. We're going to put these note cards that we made a while back in these little lace tucks here, right? So just another little add-on for that person. They know what they put back here. That's one of our waterfalls there. This is where we're leaving the free closure there. Same thing here. These are all waterfalls. Waterfalls here as well with pockets behind that. We have another pocket, file folder pocket right here. And this one closes up. Just wrap it up. Tie it down. And it's good to go. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Look at this big girl. She is... Man, I'm so proud of us for doing this together and the things that we came up with for it. Whoever does get this, I'm jealous. I love this thing. I really do. We worked so hard on it. So I hope whoever does get this, gets this, enjoys it, and appreciates all the hard work that we put into this and all the new elements and things that we, new ideas that we came up with for it. So yeah, I'm excited to finish this one up, get it decorated, and get it out to the store and get it into the hands of somebody who's going to love her and take care of her and use her well. All right, you guys, I'm going to put the tools that we used and the supplies and the kit in the description below. Also will be links to the Etsy store, the Ko-fi site, and the my Instagram. So if you are crafting with me, please tag me on Instagram. It's the Story House. Okay, find me on Instagram, and I think that's it for this episode for Saturday Series Saturday. I will see you guys in Sunday Series Sunday, which is coming up next. I'll see you guys there. I love you guys. Bye.